Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome an accomplished lawyer or a solicitor from the UK, Julie Condliffe. Julie, welcome to the show.
Ashutosh, thank you so very much for having me.
Thank
It's
you.
a delight.
Thank you. Julie is a property investor, a solicitor, and a managing partner and a best-selling author. So, Julie, before we get into law and all your learnings, tell me about your own amazing journey and what motivated you to pursue a career in property law and investment despite the challenges you had.
Sure. Yeah, thank you so very much. That's a great question. I started out in property because of my background.
Mhm.
I was homeless at some point in my life, and that caused my family and I a lot of stress, a lot of distress, and all the other negative emotions that can be associated with homelessness. So that just drove me to want to understand a bit more about how other people can have properties and yet other people are sleeping rough, how other people can have homes when other people are homeless. So that drove me to want to really get an understanding of why this disparity, why the world is such a different place. Also, I wanted to help my family. I wanted to help myself. And I also wanted to help other people who may have struggled in the same way that I struggled, or who may be struggling the way that I struggled. So that was the reason why I started property. It was driven by passion. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Well said, well said. And can you talk a little bit about a moment in your career that was particularly challenging and how you overcame it?
Yeah, how long have you got? That could take me forever in
We all
today.
do. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Ashutosh. I have I have challenges pretty much every day, I think. So it would be a struggle for me to pinpoint on one particular moment that was, a defining struggle, as it were. But for me, being a Black African woman, migrating over to United Kingdom, not being able to speak English as the English British people would speak, not being able to understand their culture, that was a bit of a struggle in my career, because sometimes I would communicate and expect people to understand what I was saying. And clearly it would be difficult because of, the language barrier, the accents, and all sorts of it. So that was a bit of a struggle when I started out. So I think that's one thing that I could pinpoint to. But I think with drive and with determination, you can get to wherever you need to get to.
Fascinating. So let's now talk about law, your auction law.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about auction law and how or why does it differ from other branches of property law?
Sure. Auction law, Ashutosh, is super exciting. It's fast-paced, and I love that. I love things that are fast-moving for loads of different reasons. Obviously, it's exciting, but not just that. It helps with cash flow. And it also helps with certainty. In Great Britain, as you know, the conveyancing process can take forever and a day. So it could take six months before you complete, 7 months before you complete, shorter or even longer. Now, with auctions, you've got that degree of certainty of knowing that once the hammer falls, you've got a defined, definite period to complete. That could be 28 days, that could be 21, that could be 14 days. So
Right.
you do have that degree of certainty, which is brilliant. I have personally bought and sold a lot of my own properties at auction. So auction helped me, in a way, become super successful. So
Right.
that's why I love auctions, the speed, the certainty.
Wonderful. And is there a difference between auction law and property law?
Yeah, that's a really good question. In terms of law itself, yes and no, and I'll tell you why. The conveyancing process is pretty much the same or
Okay.
similar, but it's got dissimilarities too. So that's why it's kind of counter. So with the traditional conventional conveyancing, a person makes an offer through perhaps an estate agent or private treaty. And then the offer is accepted, and they instruct their own solicitors. The solicitors then deal with all the work, asking questions at the outset. And when all the questions, inquiries have been responded to, the parties can then enter into a legally binding agreement upon exchange of contracts.
Right.
So that's the traditional way, the conventional way. Auctions are different, Ashutosh, as you know. So with auctions, all of that process is done before one goes to auction. So a legal pack is prepared by the seller's solicitors. A buyer reads the legal pack. You would hope they would read the legal pack and understand it. But a buyer ought to read and understand the legal pack before. Ordinarily, they would have a solicitor do all of that for them in a conventional treaty. But this one, you don't have a solicitor, you're on your own. So you read, understand, hopefully, and then after that, the hammer falls, and that's it. So exchange of contracts takes place when the hammer falls. So the solicitors do not deal with that. It's the auctioneers who actually handle that part of the deal. So by the time you come to us as your solicitors, you would have already exchanged contracts. So you will be in a legally binding agreement. That's the difference. Post that, the process becomes the same as normal conveyancing after exchange.
And based on all your experience, what are some of the common mistakes a lot of buyers tend to make when they come and bid at auctions?
A lot of mistakes, but I think the primary ones, Ashutosh, and I think that's a really, really good question, because most of us think that when you go to auction, you can bag a bargain. We all want a bargain, don't we? Which is great. Of course, you can get a bargain at auction, but you can also get a bargain of problems, pretty much. So some of the common mistakes are, I alluded to that a few moments ago. People do not actually do the preparatory work. So they do not read the legal pack. And that's a prime example of when things could potentially go catastrophically wrong, not reading the legal pack. Some people skim through the legal pack, browse through the legal pack. Again, that's not good enough. You have to read and understand the legal pack. And my legal practice provides a service where if you don't understand the legal pack because of the legal jargon, we can help you do that. I also have set up a course to help people understand how to read the legal pack, because this is super important. The legal pack sets out what we call hidden traps, what we call hidden costs. We call them hidden because we haven't delved deep down to see them. We haven't read them. So we then say, oh yeah, these were hidden costs. Oh yeah, these are hidden pitfalls. Are they really hidden, or are they hidden in plain sight? Is it because we haven't read them? Is it because we've read, but we haven't understood? So that's
very interesting. Next few questions are for you as managing partner of your firm. My question is, what has been some of your rewarding experiences as a solicitor and an entrepreneur?
Some of my, it's rewarding. I love what I do, Ashutosh. And I think in life, if you pursue your passion, if you do what you love, that's rewarding pretty much every day. So I wake up on a Monday not thinking, oh God, it's a Monday, I've got to go to work. That's not my reality. So on any given day, I wake up, I am grateful. Of course, I've got struggles like any other human being, but I'm super grateful for where I am, because I remember growing up wanting to be a solicitor. It was just a dream of mine. So now I am living my dream. I am right in the middle of the answer to all those prayers that I had. So it's rewarding for me to be able to do what I'm passionate about, pursue my passion, but not just that. I love helping people. So I can help people in the property space where my passion lies. So whatever I do, whatever I deliver, it's super successful only because I'm a woman on a mission, and my mission is to pursue my passion, and my passion is my purpose.
Great response. And Julie, how do you balance the demands of being a partner at a law firm with your personal ambitions in property investment?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't. That's the long and short of it. I just genuinely don't. And I know, like this morning, you've been super
Mm,
patient with me. I
mm,
woke up, my tire was sliced up. I didn't even know how I was going to get here. So I tend to focus on what's important. Every day presents loads of different opportunities for me to digress, loads of different opportunities for me to get stressed,
mm,
loads of different opportunities for me to miss the mark,
mm,
loads of things calling, trying, screaming out for my attention.
mm,
Focus on the goal. I press towards that mark. I
mm,
know exactly what it is I need to do.
mhm,
So every day I focus on that big thing, on
mm,
that one. So it's singleness of purpose and majoring on the major things and
mm,
not the everything else will fall into place. It's like a domino
mm,
effect, isn't
mm.
it? Gosh, gosh.
Well said. And how does your firm, Creative Legals, innovate to meet the unique needs of auctioneers, sellers, and buyers?
Yeah, awesome. We our tagline is faster, smarter, better.
Mhm,
So we provide a faster, a smarter, and a better service. And we
mm,
believe that faster, we're smarter, we're better than most.
mhm,
We do that because we are open to technology. Like right now, we use AI to help, systemize and to speed up the processes. So because we're a boutique award-winning law firm, we're adapt, we pivot when we
mm,
need to, so we can move super duper quickly. And
mm,
in any business, I think it's about understanding the market,
mhm,
understanding what the client needs, and being able to pivot and deliver what's needed at the
mm,
speed of lightning.
Well said.
Hmm.
My next question is, Julie, who have been some of your mentors or role models, and what have you learned from them?
Oh, yeah, that's a great one. My greatest mentor is my mother.
Mhm,
Love my mother so much. She was my best friend. God rest her soul. She taught me that you can do anything at all,
right.
anything, anything,
Mm,
if you believe. And if you look at my journey from leaving my home country with
mm,
absolutely nothing, £500 in my back pocket, knowing absolutely nobody, becoming homeless, sleeping in a payphone booth, to
mm,
now where I'm a multimillionaire,
mm,
I have everything that I've prayed for. That's because I have believed. Against all odds, I have believed, and I continue to believe no
mm,
matter what.
mm. Amazing, amazing. And how, given all the setbacks that you just told me about, how did you maintain your drive and your ambition?
I think when you know where you're going, and if you know that you've got to get there, Ashutosh, you'll do whatever needs to be done to get there.
Mm, mm,
So sometimes the path is straighter than other times. So sometimes I run,
mm,
and then sometimes it becomes more treacherous.
mm,
I walk, and sometimes I get blistered.
mm,
I crawl. So whatever needs to be done, I'm going to do it to
mm,
get to where I need to get to.
mm,
So
mm.
that's
Well said. And, given again, as you said, you arrived in the UK with 500 pounds, uh, did those kind of in that period of hardship that you went through, did that influence your own professional values and your approach to business?
Yes, absolutely. It touches every part of my being,
Mm,
because I think we are who we are because we are who we are because of what we went through.
mm,
We are who we are because of how we were brought up. We are where we are because. So, of course, yes, those
mm,
things, they have formed a part of me. Well, they are a part of me.
mhm,
So they've created this very, very strong woman
mm,
who I am today. I think that's the long and short of it. So
mm,
I am grateful for all the things that happened to me, because they didn't just happen to me, they happened for me. If I
mm,
hadn't gone through all of those things, I wouldn't be as strong as I am today. All this, the story that I told you about my journey, the blisters and all the rest of it. If I hadn't slept outside in a payphone box, if I hadn't known what it's like to just be out there in the nighttime, in the cold shivers of December in Great Britain, the coldest month. You know, if I hadn't gone through all of that, I wouldn't appreciate all the little things that I appreciate now. So yes, you are right. Everything brought me to where I am now. So everything happened for me. It didn't just happen to me. So I am.
No, and clearly you fought your way to get everything that you have on your own, and congratulations for that.
Thank you.
My next question is, and I'd love to get an example, is in this journey, when you were coming out of all your hard life and building into this amazing organization that you built and who you are today, can you talk about an instance where resilience played a big role in your success?
Resilience. I don't think I can point out to one particular thing, Ashutosh. For me, resilience is a daily thing. It genuinely is, because just the example I gave of me getting here to have this interview, if I didn't have any resilience, I would have called to say, Ashutosh, I'm so sorry, I can't make it, So I think with anything and everything, there's always resilience. I have to have that every day, because I had a relationship with a business that used to give me a lot of work, and they just closed the tap one day. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, what do I do? Do I close my business now? What do I actually do? In that moment, I just learned that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. You put many eggs in many baskets. And then I had to pivot and do something else. That's an example of resilience. So I think if you're going to get into business, you have to be ready to be punched in the face without even expecting it. And then you have to be ready to just pick yourself up. So even if you're knocked down 9 times, just get up 10, as long as you get up, that's it. So my life is defined by resilience, Ashutosh.
Well said. Let's now talk a little bit about your book, Julie. Tell me about your book and what was your hypothesis when you wrote your book?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So the first book that I wrote is called Strategies for Investment Success. So that was based on my story. So I share my journey to help the next person who's just like me. So I show people how I started my property investment journey with very little money. So I talk about creative strategies like rent to rent, lease options, and all the rest of it. And then the next 3 best-selling books that I wrote were on auctions, because after I used the creative strategies to get me to where I got to, auctions then actually catapulted me right to the next level where I am now. So what I do, Ashutosh, is whatever I learn, I give back. Whatever I learn, I teach the next person, which is why now I've got this course where I'm teaching people how to read and understand legal packs, because now I know how to do it.
Fascinating. And my last question to you, Julie, part of it is your own journey, part of it you've written about, and you have said to help people. What would you say are some of the lessons you have learned as a young person who came to the UK as an immigrant? And as you told me, you didn't speak English well, and you learned everything, and you built this incredible life. What would you say are 3 lessons that could guide a lot of other young people who could be listening to our conversation?
Okay, yeah, that's a great question. So I think the first thing is you have to have self-confidence. No one is going to get that for you.
Yeah.
That's something that you've got to get. Because without confidence, you're not going to be able to persuade the next person to even hear your story or to see things from your perspective. So self-confidence is so important. So whatever you do, just believe in yourself and have that confidence.
Right.
That's super important. But there are times, Ashutosh, where you're going to be so broken, battered, and all the rest bruised, and you're going to need a bigger power than you. So you need to believe in something bigger than you. I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. I believe in a bigger power that sometimes I refer to as the universe. So believe in whatever you believe in, but on your own, sometimes it's going to get tough. But if you know that the universe has got your back, God's got your back, you can lean on that in times of trouble. So I think that's super duper important. And then the final thing that I would just say is know where you're going and go there, determined to get there no matter what. Some people call it purpose. Some people call it vision. But whatever you call it, just know where you're going and determined to get there. Have that devilish ambition that I'm going to get it. I'm going to get you. And that's it.
Absolutely.
That's the
And on
limit.
that note, Julie, and your three wonderful pieces of advice: must have self-confidence, believe in a bigger power, and don't give up. Know where you're going and don't give up. Thank you so much for speaking to me about your own incredible journey. We covered few points under auction law. We talked about your own experiences, your own learnings, and congratulations on what you have created for yourself in a new country that you have now adopted. Thank you for speaking to me, and good luck to you.
Thank you so much, Ashutosh. It's been a blessing. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.